Double shot, extra foam, soy latte, my usual. I was jostled in the morning coffee shop queue, my mind miles away, planning a dream vacation to Bali. Suddenly a familiar voice sliced through the cafe's background buzz. Well, well, well. Fancy seeing you here. My blood ran cold. It couldn't be. No, it couldn't possibly be him. Slowly I turned around, my latte forgotten in my hand. And there he was, Mark, standing in the flesh. My ex, the one who got away, or rather, the one who ran away, to Australia. He'd swapped our quaint English village for the sunny shores of Bondi Beach, leaving me with a shattered heart and a mountain of Cadbury's wrappers. Mark grinned, his teeth as annoyingly perfect as ever. Wow, haven't seen you in years. You look different. Different? Was that code for old or frumpy? Before I could retort with a witty comeback, he added, "You've cut your hair. I liked it long." My latte chose that precise moment to perform a gravity experiment, splashing onto the floor. Of all the days to wear my new suede boots. Brilliant. Panic seized me. My carefully constructed composure, the one honed over years of therapy and retail therapy, threatened to crumble. What was I supposed to say? What was the protocol for bumping into the ex who'd left you for a life down under? A curt nod? A polite but distant hello? Mark broke the ice, which was rapidly melting beneath my feet and possibly my new boots. "So," he drawled, "how have you been?" His casual demeanor grated on me. How dare he act like we were old friends catching up over coffee? "I'm fine," I blurted, my voice a notch higher than usual, just peachy. I hoped he couldn't detect the tremor in my words. He looked annoyingly good, tanned, toned, and sporting a confident swagger that he certainly didn't possess when we were dating. "You look great," he said, his eyes twinkling. I couldn't tell if he was being genuine or just trying to charm his way back into my good graces. He always did have a way with words, which was part of the reason I fell for him in the first place, and the reason why his sudden departure had hurt so much. "We should catch up properly," Mark suggested, his smile widening. "How about dinner? My treat, of course." Part of me wanted to decline, to tell him where he could shove his dinner invitation, but a stronger part, the part that had spent countless nights dissecting our breakup with my girlfriends over bottles of Pinot Grigio, urged me to accept, and so, against my better judgment, I found myself agreeing to dinner with the man who'd broken my heart. What was I thinking? This was a terrible idea. What if he was back to win me back? What if he was already seeing someone else? The thought sent a pang of jealousy through me. The restaurant was one of those trendy, overpriced places with more ambiance than actual food. We sat across from each other, a vase of overpriced lilies separating us. The conversation was stilted at best. I learned that Mark was back in the UK for good, having landed a high-powered job in the city. He was vague about his love life, which only fueled my suspicions. As for me, I rambled on about my job, my cat, my new addiction to Korean face masks, anything to avoid talking about the elephant in the room, our past. The dinner was a disaster, the food was mediocre, the company even worse. Section 4. The Fallout. The encounter with Mark left me feeling unsettled. It was like a ghost from my past had suddenly materialized, throwing my present into disarray. I couldn't shake off the feeling that our unfinished business was hanging in the air, heavy and suffocating. My friends naturally were having a field day with my predicament. "You should have seen your face!" shrieked Sarah, my best friend, as we dissected the coffee shop encounter over a bottle of wine. "You looked like you'd seen a ghost." Or worse, Mark in those hideous board shorts he used to wear. "He asked me to dinner," I confessed, burying my face in my hands. "No!" gasped Emily, my other confidant. "What did you say?" "I may have," agreed, I mumbled. Their reactions were predictable, a mixture of horror and morbid fascination. "You're kidding, right?" Emily said, her eyes wide. "Dinner? With Mark? This is like a bad rom-com waiting to happen." "It gets worse," I groaned. I told them about our disastrous dinner, the awkward silences, the forced conversation. By the end of my tale they were both speechless, which was a first. Section 5. Laughter lines. As the initial shock wore off, the humor of the situation began to dawn on me. It was like something straight out of a sitcom, the ex returning from the outback just as I'd finally gotten my life, and my hair, back on track. Maybe he's secretly writing a tell-all memoir, I joked to my friends. The one that got away, a tale of lost love and Vegemite. We dissolved into fits of laughter, picturing Mark penning his heartbreak into a bestseller. Or maybe, Sarah chimed in, he's realized the error of his ways and has come back to beg for your forgiveness. She adopted a dramatic pose, mimicking Mark down to his annoyingly charming grin. "Darling," she crooned, "I've made a terrible mistake. Australia was a blast, but it's not home. You are." We howled with laughter, the absurdity of the situation a welcome distraction from the turmoil brewing inside me. Section 6. Unexpected Consequences. The ripples of my unexpected encounter with Mark extended beyond my inner circle. My co-workers, fueled by gossip and too much coffee, were placing bets on whether we'd rekindle our romance or end up as sworn enemies. My inbox was flooded with messages from long-lost acquaintances eager to get the scoop on my run-in with destiny. Even my normally oblivious neighbor, Mrs. Higgins, cornered me in the hallway to inquire about Mark's tan. The whole thing was snowballing into a ridiculous melodrama, and I was caught in the center of it. All I wanted was to go back to my quiet, predictable life, where the most dramatic event was a sale at my favorite shoe store. But life, as I was learning, had other plans. Section 7. Ghosts of Boyfriends Past. Mark's reappearance had stirred up emotions I thought I'd long buried. Memories of our time together, the good, the bad, and the downright embarrassing, came flooding back. I found myself reminiscing about our first date, a picnic in the park that ended with us chasing after a runaway frisbee, laughing hysterically. I remembered the way he used to hold my hand, his thumb gently stroking my skin, and the way he'd always order my favorite dessert even though I swore I wasn't hungry. But amidst the fond memories there were also the painful ones. The fights, the misunderstandings, and ultimately, his decision to leave. It was like picking at a scab, reopening old wounds that I thought had healed.